Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to talk about what happens when a single news report sends shockwaves through the tech world, rattling a $10 billion deal and making the entire industry just a little bit nervous.
So it all kicked off with this one number, -5%. Just like that, on a Wednesday morning, billions of dollars in stock value gone.
And look, this wasn't some tiny, volatile startup. We're talking about Oracle, a true titan in cloud computing. So you have to ask, what on earth could possibly shake a giant like that?
Well, the spark that lit this whole fire was a report about a massive $10 billion project hitting a pretty serious snag.
The Financial Times dropped the bombshell. Talks between Oracle and a major financial backer, a company called Blue Owl Capital, had totally fallen apart. And this wasn't just any old project. This was for a huge new data center in Michigan, a really critical piece of the whole AI infrastructure puzzle.
But of course, as soon as that news hit, the story got complicated. We started hearing very different stories from all the different players involved, each with their own spin.
Okay, so what really went down? This is where it gets juicy. You had the initial report that sounded all the alarms, then the official company line trying to do damage control, and then you had whispers from insiders telling a completely different story.
And this slide just perfectly lays out the chaos. On one hand, the Financial Times said the deal died because of Oracle's shaky finances and massive spending. But then Oracle and their partner came out swinging, calling the report unequivocally false and claiming the project was fine, they just chose a different partner. And then, to make things even crazier, an insider leaked that, yeah, Blue Owl did walk away, but not because of Oracle's debt. It was because of bad terms and even some local political risks. So, 3 different stories for one stalled deal. Wild.
To really get why the market freaked out so much over this one piece of news, we kind of have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. Oracle is playing a really high-stakes game right now to try and dominate the AI world.
Right. The crucial thing to remember is that this news didn't just appear in a vacuum. It landed right when Oracle was already in the middle of borrowing massive, and I mean massive amounts of cash to fuel its AI dreams.
And let's just talk about the numbers for a second because they're staggering. In September alone, the company took on $18 billion in new debt.
And that pushed their total debt to over $124 billion by the end of November. I mean, that is just a mountain of debt, no matter how big your company is.
But wait, there's more. Beyond just the direct debt, Oracle is also committed to $248 billion in leases for data centers over the next 15 to 20 years.
The speed here is just mind-blowing. That's a nearly 150% jump in those long-term commitments in just a few months. It just goes to show you how aggressive, how all-in Oracle is on building out its AI infrastructure.
Okay, so what does all this mean for the rest of the tech world? Because this one stalled deal, it turns out, sent a wave of anxiety through the entire AI industry.
You know, the big fear is that Oracle's situation isn't some kind of one-off problem. It might just be the canary in the coal mine, the first real sign of a much bigger, much riskier issue brewing under the surface of the whole AI boom.
And you could literally see that anxiety ripple through the market. It wasn't just Oracle that took a hit. Suddenly, other huge players in the AI space, Broadcom, NVIDIA, AMD, even a data center company called CoreWeave, they all saw their stocks tumble. Investors were clearly getting very, very nervous.
And what this has done is put a big, bright spotlight on the kind of risky way this whole AI gold rush is being financed. See, instead of using their own cash, some of these tech giants are leaning on private equity and these really complex lease agreements to build all these data centers so fast. It's a bit of a high-wire act, and some people are worried it could all come crashing down.
Now, to be fair, not everyone is hitting the panic button. Some analysts, like the ones over at Evercore ISI, are taking a much calmer view. They're basically saying, hey, this isn't a sign of a bubble, it's just a big, complicated business deal that didn't work out. A good reminder that in the world of high-stakes finance, you don't win them all.
And so that brings us to the big, lingering question. We're all seeing these incredible advances in AI every single day. But what's the hidden cost? Is this entire revolution being built on a foundation of really risky debt? This one stalled $10 billion deal just might be a warning that the ground underneath all of us is a whole lot less stable than we think.